Hey, how's it going? I'm over here at the light table. It's Saturday night, and I'm just kind of recuperating from a hard day of garage sailing and thrifting. I went to about 10 or 12 garage sales today. I hit the auction house tag sale over in Brattleboro, and then I shot over to Swansea and Keene, and that was probably a mistake because I only found one item in the 3 hours of garage sailing out there. I would say that probably 95% of my success today happened before 10 o'clock. I got up at about 6 o'clock this morning and I started looking at the newspaper to check out the yard sales. I went ahead and entered them into MapQuest and kind of made a little route for myself. The first place that I wanted to go was the auction house tag sale that they hold every week. Today I decided not to take the highway. I wanted to go the back roads and see if I could find any yard sales on the way. And happily for me, the first yard sale that I found on Highway 63 was the best yard sale of the day. I was going to save the best for the last, but there's really no point. So I'm just going to show you guys what I picked up. When I got to that sale, I noticed that they had quite a bit of cool stuff there. They also had a blanket with free items on it, and I grabbed a couple of those. The first item that I grabbed was this vintage camera case. I think it's for a camcorder. It's Sony branded, so it's most likely for a Handycam. I really don't know how much that bag will sell for, but I imagine it'll have some type of value. This was also on the free blanket. It's a Volkswagen cargo management system. I guess you just use this to put cargo in the Volkswagen. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I don't think they sell for much money. I should be able to get like 10 bucks plus shipping maybe. I also found this pair of tin snips. It was $2 and it looks like they sell for about $22 shipped, maybe a little bit less. This will have to go in probably a flat rate envelope. I also found this Logitech wired mouse. I got this because my dad needs a wired mouse. His wireless mouse is kind of acting funky. And I said the next time I see one, I'll pick one up. And it was only $1, so I figured why the hell not. I also got this bag over there for $3. It's a little Canon printer, but the reason I wanted it was for this right here. It's got 2 of these cartridges, and I sold this stuff in the past, and it usually does okay for me. There's also a few packs of paper, so what I'll probably have to do is end up putting this in a flat rate envelope. And this printer also came with it. It's a Canon CP910 selfie printer. It looked like they were selling for pretty good money online, so I think I'm going to try to figure out how to work this, and if it works, I'll just sell it for, whatever I can get for it. So the guy had a bunch of paintball stuff there, and I really don't know much about paintball stuff, but it looked really interesting to me, and he came over, and I think he really wanted to sell me this stuff. He ended up giving me a little bit of discount off of the asking price and all of this stuff, but I still think I might have paid too much. There was this helmet. It looks like it's made by a company called Helix, and it looks like they sell for about $30 free shipping. He also had this Reds International bag. I think you're supposed to put your paintball gear in it. He had $15 on it, which was way more than I wanted to spend. I really didn't even want to get this stuff. I just wanted to get the gun, but I ended up buying all of it. There were also these little pouches right here. It looks like you put them around your neck. I've actually been looking for something like this so I can put my money in here when I'm at garage sales. I have a tendency to drop my wallet when I get in and out of the van, and I think this might be a big help. There's actually 2 of them in case I lose the first. There was also this pouch. It holds the pods that hold the little paintballs. And when I comped it, it looked like if you had the pods to put in all the pouches, they were going for about $50. There was also this Halo hopper. It has some type of electronics in it. The guy seemed like a very honest man, and he said that he tested all this stuff and it seemed to be working fine. I looked it up and I think they're selling for between $20 and $30. There were also 8 of these view loader pods. He originally had $1 on them, but they were just part of the bulk deal. These hold the actual paintballs, and when your gun runs out, you just pop the lid off and you pour the balls into the hopper. It looked like I saw a few selling for between $18 and $20. I'm not really sure how this stuff is going to do. I'm really new to it, but I figured I'd try to get my feet wet. This is probably going to be the best of it all. It's this Reds International paintball gun, and I guess the barrel just goes on like this, and you put the hopper on top, and somewhere a CO2 tank goes, and you just start lighting up your opponent. Everything was priced individually, and he had $35 on the gun alone. It has some paperwork somewhere, but somehow I've misplaced it in this nightmare pile. He ended up just selling me everything for 70 bucks. At first glance, I wasn't able to find much on this gun, but I'm going to keep on digging. I think it has some value. I just need to find out more information about it. When I was getting ready to check out with the guy, I saw that he had a few CD sets, so I decided to scan them. He was getting $2 a piece for them. This is called the Classic Soul Ballads. When I looked it up, it looked like a brand new one was selling for over $150, and somebody was trying to get like 60 or 70 for a used one. I didn't see any sold comps under that UPC, but I haven't dug too deep. I'm thinking it has some value. I just need to find out some more information about it. This CD set is The Temptations. It was $2 as well, and it looked like this had sold comps for about $25, and hopefully plus medium mail shipping. This will probably be the best one from there. It's The History of Classical Music in 24 Hours, and it has a whole bunch of CDs. When I looked it up, it looked like this was selling for about 30 or 40 bucks. So including the paintball stuff and everything else, I ended up paying that guy 80 bucks for everything. So after I left that place, I was on the way to Brattleboro, and I saw another yard sale on the way up there, so I decided to stop and check it out. I found this Ameriphone XL50. It's made for people that are hearing impaired. The lady at that yard sale sold it to me for $1. I saw that one had sold for 40 bucks free shipping. I looked up the active comps, and it looked like it wasn't really selling for that much. I might be able to get about 15 to 20 plus shipping for it though. I also found this radio/cassette player. It's made by a company called Venturer. I've never heard of Venturer before, but it had a really cool look to it. It just screams 90s. So when I looked it up, it looked like one had recently sold for about $30 plus shipping. Sadly, it did not have the power cable, so I'm going to see if I have one that'll fit it. The lady told me that she used batteries with it and it worked fine, so I went ahead and took her word for it, and hopefully I'll be able to get 30 bucks for it. She also had this copy of Office, Home, and Student 2007. I paid $1 for it, and I also paid $1 for that stereo. When I looked it up, it looked like they were selling for about $20 free shipping, so I think I should do okay. She also had this copy of Quicken. It's from 2014. I paid $1 for this. I did not see any active listings, but it looked like one sold back in July in pre-owned condition for 64 bucks. So I'm probably going to ask $64.95 and see what happens. So after I left that sale, I shot over to Kevin's auction house tag sale, and I noticed his friend was working out there today, and he had a ton of DVDs. He probably had 500 or 600 DVDs, and I probably could have scanned all of them and found some good money in there, but I didn't because I've already got so much inventory. But I did scan some of the box sets, and I think I should do okay. Let me show you guys what I got. I found this box set of Magnum PI. It's the complete series, so it has all of these seasons in there. When I checked the recent comps, it looked like one had sold for $46. I only found one DVD that wasn't a box set, and it's this Fairy Tale Theater DVD. When I checked the comps on it, it looks like they're selling for about 20 bucks. There was also this Star Trek movie collection. It looks like it has several different DVDs in it. It looked like this was selling for around $20 free shipping. The good thing is all of these items will be eligible for media mail, so they shouldn't cost more than about 4 or 5 bucks to ship. There was also this Tarzan DVD set. It looked like this particular set was selling for somewhere between 25 and 30 in pre-owned condition, so I think it'll probably do alright. I found this Anne of Green Gables 5-disc collection. It looked like this was selling for between 25 and 30 bucks. I also found this set. I've never heard of it before. I think it's called CAD Fail. It looks like it's a 13-disc set, and when I comped it out, it looked like it was selling for between $35 and $45 in pre-owned condition. There was also this Highway to Heaven DVD set. It looks like it has some damaging on the box. Hopefully everything's included. It looked like this was selling for about $25 free shipping. I also found this Beauty and the Beast collection. I used to watch this as well when I was a kid back in the 80s. This is the complete series. I hope all of the discs are there, but I went ahead and bought it on blind faith. It looks like this is selling for between $20 and $25 on the higher end. I also picked up this Indiana Jones set. It's the complete DVD movie collection. This should sell for between $12 and $13. I found this DVD set called V. I've never heard of this, but it looks like it's an 80s TV show. It's the complete series, and it looks like it's selling for about $20 shipped. I also got this box set of Heroes. It's supposed to be a complete set. I only see season 1, 2, and 3. This might actually be the best set that I found over there. It's A Little House on the Prairie. It's the complete television series. It's got a lot of DVDs in it, and it's in like a 3-ring binder. I really don't know if all the discs are there, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of work on this. But when I checked out the comps on eBay, it looked like it was selling for pretty good money. So hopefully I'll be able to make a little bit of that good money. After we settled on a price for all of those DVDs, I ended up finding this guy right here. I didn't see this when I was going through all of the DVDs. There was a ton of them out there, and I'm positive I still missed a bunch. But I saw this, and I looked it up because it looked interesting, and I said, hey man, would you take another 2 for this? And he grabbed it, and he looked at it. He's like, nah, I can't sell that to you for 2. I gotta have 6. He was like, you know, people love this kind of monstery stuff and weird stuff. I'm like, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $5 for it. And he's like, okay. So I ended up giving him an extra $5 for it. And it looks like in pre-owned condition, I could probably sell it for about 25 to 30 plus shipping. When I actually got to that sale today, it was like 9:30. I was hoping to be there at like 8:45 so I could get in there first. But because I stopped at those 2 garage sales, it kind of set me back. So when I first walked in, I saw my buddy Tom standing at the register buying a couple things. And I yelled down to him, I said, hey, what are you doing in my turf? And he looked up and he kind of laughed. So I went down and said, hey man, did you find anything good today? And I can't remember if he actually got anything or not. I was already at that point so tired. But he said, hey, come on over here. I know where there's some stuff you're going to want. So I followed him over, and he pulled this out of one of the boxes. And this is a Panasonic Reach Easy massager. I've sold these several times in the past, and they always do really well for me. These can usually sell for like $70 or $80 plus shipping. They do really well if you can find them. They're vintage, and they're just made well. I don't see them a whole lot, but when I do, I always pick them up. So he ended up selling me this, those box sets, and that single DVD for $30. So I think I'm going to do pretty well on this stuff. So I walked over to the other side where Kevin's stuff was, and I started looking around, and it didn't look like he had a whole lot this week. Kevin's a really good dude, and I like talking to him, but he doesn't always get a whole lot of the stuff I'm looking for, but he does usually get something. And so luckily I was able to find a few items. First item I found on his side was this Home Ranger shoulder pulley. You basically put this on your door, and you can just kind of work out and, you know, get stronger. I've sold this in the past. It wasn't new like this one is. They usually do all right. You're not going to buy a Bentley or anything with it, but you can probably get about 15 or 16 bucks for it. I saw that he had this caller ID over there. It's definitely vintage, new old stock. The packaging is a little jacked up. It's got some goo and everything down here, and unfortunately, as you can see, the batteries are all corroded. When they open it up, they can just throw these away and put their own batteries in there. I didn't see any sold comps on this particular model, but I saw one that had sold by the same company, Classco, for about 50 bucks plus shipping out of Canada. So I'm going to probably throw it up there for $49.95 or best offer and just see what happens. And the last thing I found over there was this Sony Handycam. It's an old Video 8 model. I saw it on the table, but he had no power cable or anything. It does have a battery. I'm not sure if I have a cable to charge this or not. He ended up just throwing it in with the lot. If something like this works, I might be able to get like 80 bucks, 100 bucks for it. People buy these sometimes so that they can transfer their old home movie collection onto a computer. I've got a bunch of these already, so I'm going to have to check it out sometime. But I ended up paying him $5 for all 3 of these things. So not too bad of a deal, I thought. So when I left that sale, I hopped back on 12 and shot over towards Keene. And there was a yard sale that was on my list, and it was on the way to Keene, so I decided to stop in and check it out. The lady there was really nice, and she had a great sense of humor. She ended up selling me this 1250 watt Sunbeam electric skillet. It's vintage, made in the USA. It's pretty good quality. I've sold this model several times in the past, and they usually do okay. I can usually sell these for between $25 and $30 plus shipping. A lot of times they sell better in the wintertime. She also sold me this Mintcraft toilet paper dispenser. When I looked it up, it looked like people were selling them for about $40. I didn't see any completed listings, but I did see that a seller had already sold 2 of them, so I decided to take a shot on it. She also sold me this vintage Rubbermaid butter dish. These are really good quality. I've sold these several times in the past, and I usually do okay with these. I can generally get around 14 or 15 bucks for this. This is a similar item. It's a butter dish, but it's made by Tupperware. I've never actually sold a Tupperware butter dish, but like the Rubbermaid, these also sell for about $14 or $15. The lady also sold me this camera. It's a Minolta Freedom 50. It's a 35mm point and shoot camera, probably from the 90s. It also came with this Vantage camera bag. Earlier I mentioned that the lady had a great sense of humor. When I brought the camera up, she looked at me and she said, "I sure hope I didn't leave any dirty film in there." It was at that moment that I realized I've got to get a GoPro type camera. So it looks like this camera sells anywhere from 18 to 30 bucks. So that was pretty much all that I found over there. She charged me a total of 13 bucks for all that stuff. And she actually threw this item in for free. It's a Kraco vintage AM/FM radio for a car. I'm not sure which car it goes to, and I couldn't find any comps on it, but I'm going to do a little research on Terapeak and see if I can't find the model. Worst case scenario, I'll just throw it up there for $19.95 plus shipping or best offer and see what happens. So after I left that sale, I ended up going to Keene and things started to decline rapidly. In fact, I ended up hitting like 5 or 6 more garage sales. I hit 2 thrift stores and I only found 2 small items out of all of that. I found this Black & Decker Weed Whacker string. It looks like it has 1 or 2 items missing out of it. I've found incomplete packages like this in the past, and I usually sell this for like $8 or $9, but the lady marked everything down to half off, so she ended up just giving it to me because I didn't have any change. At the last garage sale that I went to, I found this vintage coffee pot. It's made by Corningware. You can't actually sell these on eBay because they're recalled, but what I do is I sell the internal parts. There's a basket in there, a stem, and the lid. I've sold these plenty of times in the past. They usually sell for between $20 and $25 for the set. There's a lot of amateur eBayers that put this stuff up for like $5 with bid on it and everything. You can tell they're kind of green to eBay. That's just not something you do. You put a buy it now on it, and when the right person comes along, they buy it. Most things are probably not very good for auction unless they're really hot sellers. So I ended up paying the lady $2, and I'm confident that I'll make some money on this. I was pretty unimpressed with Swansea and Keene today. Lately it's just been like that. Whenever I get done shopping in Brattleboro, I go over there to see if I can't find some leftover stuff. And usually I just don't see anything at all. And I don't think people are buying everything. I just don't think there's a lot of good stuff out there. I'm still going to go out there, but I'm going to keep a mental note. And I'm going to see how often I go out there in the afternoon and don't find anything. And if it becomes a problem, I just won't go anymore. I went to the Salvation Army today, and I really don't even like going on Saturdays. It is always packed. There's generally nothing for me, and it's just overall a bad experience most of the time. So when I finally left the thrift store and all of the garage sales, I decided to shoot over to the dump and see if I could find a little goodness. And happily for me, I was able to find a little something. The first thing that I found over there was this TomTom XL. It's the silver edition. It looks like these are selling for about $20 to $25 free shipping. I also found a bunch of brand new old stock items. When I looked over where the kitchen items were, I saw that there were like 3 or 4 packs of these Rubbermaid ice trays. They actually come 2 to a pack, and when I looked them up, they were selling for like $7 or $8 a piece. So I ended up looking under that table, and there was a ton of them in this box. In fact, I think at one point the thing was completely full. So I ended up grabbing a total of 16 of them, and what I'll probably do is make 2 2-packs for like 15 free shipping, and I'll just make a multi-quantity listing and just let it ride out. They also had this mouse trap. The packaging's a bit worn out, but it looks like they're selling for around $9 or $10, so I should be able to make something on it. I also found 5 packs of these light bulbs. They're GE halogen lights, and it looks like they're for indoor floodlights. When I looked them up, it looked like they were selling for about $8 a piece, but it doesn't look like they sell all of the time. I might actually end up taking these and putting them in a lot. Maybe I can get 25, 30 plus shipping. Anyway, guys, that's everything that I found today. I don't think I did half bad. I was telling my friend today that I'm really looking forward to winter so that I can stop going garage sailing and just buckle down on listing all of this stuff. It's really going to be a big help when I can start hitting these death piles. So I think I'm going to get out of here and try to edit this video If you guys enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below. And until next time, we'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night.